Tonight's true scary story is multiple stories about one haunted house in the Appalachian Mountains, and it is terrifying. Before we get started though, it really does help me if you hit that like button, but only if you appreciate my work. Also, if you want to get notified when I tell true scary stories that you guys submit to me, hit that subscribe button. Tonight's submitter's name is Tangina, and Tangina starts off the email by saying, I have multiple horror stories for you about my cousin's house in the Appalachian Mountains in West Virginia. She stated that personally, she has never had an experience in this house, but every time she is in this house, she feels off, like she's being watched. The following stories happened to her cousin, her cousin's wife, her grandmother, her aunt, and her sister. Her cousin, her grandmother, and her aunt live in West Virginia all together. Her family visits a few times a year, and they all stay in the same house together. She then says these stories take place in order and get worse as they go on, and she was not lying. The first story takes place in 2018. Her grandmother was upstairs in her bedroom sleeping. Her aunt and grandmother stayed in the same room because her grandmother is elderly and needed help throughout the night. On this night, her aunt was downstairs in the kitchen, cleaning up, getting ready to come upstairs for bed. Before she could even get upstairs though, she hears this bang coming from upstairs in her bedroom where her mother is. She runs upstairs and her grandmother is holding her head in pain. So her aunt asks, what happened? Her grandmother then says that something slammed her head against the wall. Ever since this happened, her grandmother refuses to be alone, still till this day. As her health started to decline, she decided she was going to move her bed downstairs because she did not ever want to sleep in that room ever again. Till this day, if she is even alone for a second, she starts to panic. Poor thing, I feel so bad. The next story takes place in 2020, the first couple weeks of the pandemic. Tangina's younger sister and younger brother were staying at her aunt's house because her parents were out of the country. At the time, 3 of her older cousins worked. Her younger cousin, who is the same age as her younger brother, did not have school because of the pandemic. Her aunt and her grandmother were home too because her grandmother couldn't really go anywhere because of her old age and because of the pandemic. Because it was the pandemic, there was nothing to do, so her aunt decides that she's going to take her little cousin and her little brother out for a walk. Meanwhile, her eldest cousin and his wife went to pick up her older cousin from work. So at this point, nobody is in the house except for her little sister and her grandmother. But her little sister didn't know that her older cousin was at work, so she went upstairs to look for them. She checked all the rooms, but nobody is there. And then she goes into her oldest cousin's room to see him sitting down on the bed in front of the TV with just the light shining on him in front of the TV. He's just sitting there, staring at a blank TV. Her sister couldn't see his face clearly, but she said that it looked like a dark shadow of him. Now remember, this cousin is at work. She then hears her